Good morning, good evening, and good night wherever you are. Welcome to Requiem for Mersey. And we place a scene with a particular individual driving off the island of Mersey back onto the mainland. She is driving with quite some speed, quite some haste. She goes through the rather dark and growing ever darker woods as the night draws on. She's compelled, she's drawn somewhere, drawn to a location. She knows her region is in danger, threatened by something. And as she goes through these dark woods, as she turns the lights on her car on, a sense of dread, doom fills the air. The clouds seem to thicken, the forest grows darker, the woods seem more alive with the night creatures. And we will zoom in on this figure and her thoughts.
For starters, I'd like to clarify that the lights wouldn't be on high or high beam, but she'd be using the fog lights just enough for her to drive by, but she doesn't want to be announcing her presence. She's been in this situation once before. And regardless of her panic, she's trying to keep a calm and cool head, as she's been taught so many times. But yes, speeding through the fog and the mist away from Mersey proper, that she definitely is. For when Master beckons, when Master calls, when Master is in danger, there's no other choice. There's no other choice in her heart, not in her head, not in her every single fiber. Everything that she's planned for, that she's hoped to achieve, the plans she's carefully laid, and dare she even admit it to herself as she's driving with no radio on, gripping the steering wheel with white knuckles, just teeth gritted, eyes squinting almost in a scowl, because she realizes that everything that she's been doing on the island was amusement. It's ludicrous. It's absolutely ludicrous in this moment, in this one clear, crystal clear moment, this one diamond shining, where she realizes that foolish endeavor. There's really only one thing she cares about, and that's him. He's in danger, and she cannot resist the summons even if she wanted to, even if there was one thing holding her back. That girl Rebecca is not her business. The ghost girl in the cottage that she made a promise to, promises are broken every day. Get over it. There'll be some other poor sod to trap into your little soul story ghosty girl, and who's to say that you're not the one that's being kept? I don't know. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter anymore. None of it matters. None of it matters because he's close and he's in danger. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. And her foot presses down on the accelerator more and more and more as that the blood begins to rush in her veins as she begins to feel closer and closer and closer and closer and closer. But then her adrenaline, her natural human adrenaline kicks in, and she's just a tangle, an absolute tangle web of a network of nerves and of muscles that is just forever tightening and gripping onto a singular apex, where she's going to just completely explode with emotion if she doesn't have some sort of a release at this point. It's hashtag ghoul life. Hashtag ghoul life. Back to you.
Yeah, as you these thoughts are rushing in your head, as your body itself is compelled forwards, drawn. You feel to resist it would just be so damaging, so hurtful, so painful, and you go deeper and deeper through the road, through the on the road, through the woods, down paths, down back paths, farmland. You go kind of off road slightly. You even go through a field to try and find this location. It's as if you're missing it, but then it pulls you back in the right direction. And we're going to do a simple roll to represent this. I think due to the situation, we will say it's going to be a wits plus. I don't know whether to do either survival or empathy, whatever's your highest, because I think it's a matter of feeling as well as
that would be 5 dice then. If I run out of empathy,
okay.
it'll be 5 dice.
I'm going to give you a +1, I think, because that's your blood sympathy as well. But due to the severity, I would say -2, so it's a roll then. -2, so it's a roll, because it would be slightly difficult. It's nighttime as well. So I believe that's 4 dice.
So that's +1, but -2. That is
Yeah,
4 dice.
That's 4 dice. Yeah, we go. Okay, let's roll 4 dice. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Oh wow, yes. Yeah, so far so good.
Okay.
2 successes. So that's fairly good. You find yourself in a field as you kind of pull off road, and you realise you're just about to kind of go in the wrong direction, but you immediately correct yourself. You steer back onto a dirt path, and you kind of go the long way round, but it's quicker. And you finally get back onto the main road, and you go off road towards Henry's farm. There's any sort of word or a street sign that you can find. And as you kind of go up this rather sort of hilly path, you come across blinking lights. As you see a car that's in a ditch off road, and you definitely feel you're near. He's nearby. He's somewhere here, but deeper in the woods, further off in the woods.
I imagine I need to at this point pull over and go on foot.
This is pretty. You've got the farm up in front of you. There is a car in a ditch, and you feel pulled into the woods along the farm. You can.
Are there any lights on at the farm?
There's a few. 1 or 2 lights at sort of the main house. It's further in the farm. The feeling's not towards the farm though. It's towards kind of the woods.
I know. I'm making a plan.
Oh, okay. But
I'm attempting to make a plan.
Okay, simple plans are easy, but you are really compelled because you rolled very well.
So
So very compelled.
I know that, but that's okay. The 2 things I want to know is how far away is the farm? Can they see the 2 cars that have now here, and are there lights on? And there are lights on, so there's obviously people there. How easy would it, like, how visually clear is that farm across there?
It's a fair distance. Again, it feels like you've just driven onto the main kind of farmland, and the farm itself, where the residents either live or they are, is quite far off in the distance. A good another 200 odd meters. You are far enough that obviously if they could have seen the car, they would have recognized it by now. The lights are blinking on the other car, on and off, like the hazard lights are blinking. You feel as if they would have recognized that by now if they did see it, recognize it, but they would have been here by now.
Park the car alongside the other car. So from the house itself, it only looks like the one vehicle. Leave it running, leave the light off, make sure that the light on the dash can't be seen. Pretty much just leaving that there for a quick getaway. Go to the other car, turn the hazard lights off because I don't want to particularly be noticed right now. Also scanning the car for weapons.
Okay. Because of your sickness, I won't make you roll. Hold on, I'm just getting It's as you go across the car and you examine it, and as you reach over to turn the lights off, you see the inside of the car, and yes, there is blood scattered everywhere on the seat, along the floor. There's definitely someone or something has like ripped the car door open and torn the driver out, and there is blood trails going all the way along towards the woods. But as you sort of look around and poke, you do see a firearm, a weapon that you have seen your Regent's bodyguard use before. It's a typical. Do you have any firearms? Or
good God, no.
No, okay. You have no idea. It's a fancy gun, and you've seen your Regent's Bodyguard use it, but you have no idea what's in it, what it contains, even how to use it. Or you can barely recognise where the safety is on the gun, but it is there for you. But no one else seems to be in the car.
I don't particularly need. Grab the firearm, transfer it to the other car, head into the woods. That's for the getaway if we get that far, because I'm not going to be able to use it.
Okay. So you put the gun in the other car, and yes, you then proceed into the woods. Okay, and as you go deeper and deeper into the woods, yes, there's a slight sort of mist, a slight fog. Not as heavy as it is on Mersey, but it seems to be floating around. There's a kind of wet electric taste to the air as you walk through the woods, and the typical sounds of like branches cracking, the scurrying of leaves as an animal crosses past you. It's a very spooky place. And as you go further and further, again, you're drawn, you're pulled. And yes, you do see sort of a tree branch that's cracked again because your rolls there, you succeeded. You see where there's something has gone through these woods, something has rushed the same path that you've walking, and has broken a few branches. It's kind of, and you do see like the odd claw mark on a tree. And as you go further and further forward, you do see a figure in the distance. But I'll leave you to your thoughts as you're going through these woods.
Moving through the woods, and especially the pulling up at the car, transferring the firearm, making sure that there was that stealthy getaway ready should she need it. The penny really dropped how useless she really fucking is in these kind of situations. And it's, you know that feeling when you're cold but you're also scared and you begin to tremble from the inside of your core, and you begin to just have that quivering, that wavering that seems to go from your chest to your diaphragm to your throat, and you just feel completely helpless to this feeling. That's pretty much the every step closer that she gets. She's terrified, but she can't walk away from this. She is compelled forward. My God, she's in love. She needs to have her man back. She needs to have his arms around her again. And perhaps in the back of her mind, a logical little tiny fly's wing says to her, what you really want is blood. Be real with yourself, Grace. But she shuts that away because it's a dark thought right now. And she just clings to whatever light she has. She probably takes the little dandelion pendant out that he gave her so many years ago when she began her service with him, and just clutches that almost like a talisman and clings to it, clings to the love and the hope and the need to have him back, because my God, he's not a bad man. He can't help what he is. Who really asks to be like this? She battles with herself, with her fear, with everything that is giving her doubts, that is giving her hesitation, and the need for self-preservation just takes it all, scrunches it up into a little ball, and like when she screamed her agony into the sea, just throws it aside and just marches on, for all that her lip is still quivering, her hands are still balled into fists that shake, and they're not fists because she wants to fight the fists, because otherwise she is going to just tremble herself into nothingness. And eyes wet with tears, knowing that whatever is out there that is making those claw marks, that has actually accosted, she won't be able to fight it, but she just wants to at least answer a summons, to do what he says one last time, even if that means death. Logging back to you.
Now, as you proceed further and forward, deeper and deeper into these woods, and it gets more dense, more treacherous the further you go in, until you do see a figure that kind of, it's in a distance. It seems to be within with the trees. It resembles limbs. It resembles a person. again, it's hard to tell because it is quite dark. And as you proceed forward, how do you proceed? Do you just rush? Do you march? Do you go cautiously?
I don't think she has the strength of will to march, nor does she have the stealth to go cautiously. She's casually walking.
As
She
you,
doesn't have any other states of being. She knows that anything that she attempts to do, yeah, if she tries to be stealthy, she'll be ludicrous. If she tries to put on a brave face and just march, it'll be seen as ludicrous also. So she just approaches with caution, but approaches quite obviously.
as you slowly get closer and closer to the figure, you see in a sort of the slight sort of moonlight that there is from the clouds, that it reveals the figure is your regent. As soon as you see his face, as soon as you see his form and recognize it, the sympathy, the blood immediately kicks in, and you know it's him. Recognize him, kind of. You feel pulled towards him, but as you get closer and closer, you realize he's off the ground. He's actually, his feet aren't touching the ground itself, but he is impaled on a large broken branch that seems to have been deliberately like planted into the ground, and he's kind of just hanging loose with this massive sort of branch piercing his chest, and he truly looks dead. He truly looks like a corpse, and you see scratch marks, torn clothing, ripped items on his person, but perhaps you don't even recognize that because this is the first time you've seen your origin in many months, or weeks, months. But he is broken. Yeah, too long, and he is broken. He seems completely hurt, broken and torn.
Panic takes over. The kind of panic that a mother has at a child being drowned and not knowing what to do. She just sort of takes his hand and feels up his arm, and then tries to take his face in her hands and just goes, "What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? What do I do?" And she's just completely at a loss, and just tries to coax him into any sort of animation. Like she obviously understands in the back of her mind that that he is staked, as it were. But I'm going to take a critical failure at this point and just say that she fucking freaks out and just over and over repeats to this still lifeless corpse, "What do you want me to do? What do I do? What do I do? What happened? What happened?" She's just in an absolute panic at this point, and probably will just end up, just throwing herself at the lifeless corpse and just even wrapping his cold dead hands around her and just leaning her head against his chest, saying, "Just tell me what to do," still sobbing like an idiot.
As you try to move, to push, he's far too heavy. The branches pierced too thickly, and you're sad and pathetic attempts at just trying to lift him and trying to move him, trying to speak to him, just fall on deaf ears as in this dark woods. There is no reaction, and I'd say you're left for a few moments, and perhaps you go into a state of sobbing as you are left helpless to save the one you truly feel for, the one you truly love. And as this occurs, you suddenly then just hear a sort of hackling. You hear laughter. You hear the sound of really pathetic, drawn out kind of laugh. You hear sort of
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Buckle your seatbelts. Turns. Snaps out of her pathetic little sobbing and will turn towards the laughter.
As you turn, you spot. In what way? Sorry. To see the laughter. No. It's obvious. It's obvious.
If you need me to get out.
No. It's all obvious. Yeah. You turn and you see a wolf like figure, a half sort of wretched kind of creature. It's got a grey sort of whitish fur coat, but it seems uh, malnourished. It seems badly treated. There's cuts, there's bruises, there's scars. Furless patches on it. It's a somewhat wretched looking creature, and it's sort of hunched over, but again, still quite large but lanky. And it looks to you, and as you see it, your mind.
Christ on.
Yeah, as you see it, your mind, as if in a primitive reaction, just suddenly snaps, as if like, run, get away from it. You've got to run. But you feel that the sense of the blood, you feel the sense of the power that your master has bestowed you is protecting you, it's reinforcing you. And it does go away, this panic. But as you see this wretched creature, you do see other eyes in the woods scattered around. They're blinking on and off. And it looks to you, and it's sort of toying with the ground. One of his large claws is just making markings in the ground. It's another wretched, blood-drunk fool comes.
Okay. To clarify, this creature looks a wee bit starved, not too handsome.
It looks as if it's
scabby.
been messed up. Yes, scabby. This is a creature that has suffered a lot.
I need you to roll me a plus and minus dice at this point, because Grace might feel sorry for it. to be completely honest with you, she doesn't like things in pain.
You know what? I would say normally, yes, I agree with you on that one. But I think because of your region, that may affect it. They may change your point of view. I'm going to let you role play that one. I'll let you decide. Or do you want me to roll? Entirely up to you.
I'm happy to role play it, but I just don't want it to be seen as overriding what the character would do.
All right, we'll make it chancing.
Because at this point, what I feel Grace would it's the same thing as what she said to the ghost girl. It's like, okay, you're being mistreated. I understand that you're in pain, but that doesn't give you the right to make somebody else suffer. Mediator shit. What she's been fucking trained to do.
No, okay. I think it is a 50-50.
So I'll leave it to you.
So, I'm going to. It's a sort of element of your own free will and free anger. I'm going to make it a single dice roll on an 8+. Your personality, comes through, and if it's a failure, it's the blood. The blood bond just forces you.
Okay.
So a single dice roll, success means it's a failure. So you are blood bond. You feel that instinct of pathetic creatures thing, and you see your region and what's happened to your region, and it's that love, it's that anger, that hatred, that sense of how dare you even touch a single hair of his head comes through. So
in which case, completely out of character, Grace is actually going to turn her back on her regent, and probably still holding his cold, undead, and unmoving hands, actually place them behind her, like she's trying to shield him with her body, and just creature. And it's an expression like you've never seen on Grace's face ever before. She usually wears that very delicate, very angelic grin, but now she's got something to fight for. She knows that she can't fight to save her life, and that's exactly what it's coming down to. But she still wants to be that last domino before they get to him, even though they've obviously already gotten to him. But it's a small measure of pride. It's what she's meant to be. It's what she's meant to do. It's her function. It's what she's been trained to do. So how can she not? So she'll actually face and stand off against this creature. And I don't suppose she has enough will to speak at this point.
As you react like this, and as you immediately move to protect your region, your master, your lover, the creature looks, and you don't even know to need to roll this. It has a look of like, it's kind of impressed. Such loyalty, such dedication. But at the same time, it's just disgusted. It's that sort of it knows what you are. It knows who you are, and it looks to you, and it's slowly kind of like this weird.
Wormtail, baby.
Yeah, this sort of hunched back kind of looks towards you, and it's weird. It's kind of speaking very barely, but speaking human, but because of your animalism, you can understand it fully. And he sort of looks to you again with these somewhat sort of bright bluish kind of eyes as well, and looks to you and just goes, pathetic. Another one falls for our trap. More food for the pack. Such loyalty, such wasted loyalty.
Replying, not in human, but replying with animalism in wolf. Loyalty wasted.
So you say loyalty wasted? Wasted. I didn't quite get it.
Loyalty is never wasted.
Ah, okay. Pathetic, blood-drunk fool. He has bound you. More come, more bound fools, more food for the pack. Wasted. Or not. We feed either way. And he does get slightly more closer and closer, and he starts to actually get up on two legs. He starts to sort of slowly, and you realise that yes, he's quite hunched over, but when he starts to stand up, he's actually very, very tall, very lanky and skinny, but incredibly tall, nearly double your height. And as he slowly sort of raises himself, he looks to you and down at you. And you see these very large, very thin claws. And he seems as if he really wants to strike. Okay, we're going to make a roll here because this is all about game of wits and stuff. So we will make a roll.
Yeah, we need a roll.
We need a roll. So this will be his. It's contested. So this would be his. He's in animal form, so he's going to have penalties. So this will be his manipulation and subterfuge. Which is normally say. But it's actually he's an animal form, so it's penalties, big penalties. So he's only going to have 3 dice in this. When it's going to be your wits and empathy. So I'll roll his 3 dice.
Which takes 5 dice, please.
Oh wow, he's good at what he does. So 3 dice, you got 2 successes. This is 5 dice for you. Oh, your wits and empathy, yes. Yep, 5 dice. Okay, roll. No! Oh god, he's good in his animal form. So we'll simply say, I'm afraid, as he kind of, you're too scared. You're too concerned about your region. Normally you'd be quite focused and quite on the ball, but because of the threat to your region, all you can think about is your region. All you can think about is his safety. You keep looking back at him to make sure he's still alive. He's still here. And you can't quite grasp what the motives, what this creature is trying to do to you. It definitely seems it's intimidating. It is somewhat exceeding, not threatening your life, but threatening your region's life. That's what's intimidating about him. And yes, he'll slightly get closer to you, but he will sniff, he will smell you, as if he needed to get closer to you to smell. Oh, you stink of salt. Salt.
And Grace just backs against her region again and just tries to again just be that shield between. If she fucking dies during this, who gives a shit? At least she'll go before him, and there's nothing worse than she can think of is that he goes before her. That's pretty much the equation in her head right now of be first, just be fucking first. At the mention of salt, she almost, it's kind of like when somebody breaks the mood of a very intense conversation with something as simple as, do you like my sweater? It's like a changed subject that completely brings it back to reality. And she'll just sort of go, Salt, the island. I've come from the island. Let me take him to the island, please. Please, let us go.
No, no island for you, no salt for him, for his worthless kind. You trespass, he trespass. Food for the pack.
There's no denying what is going to happen. So she'll just screw up her face and almost in resignation say, I didn't mean to, please. And she'll say the fucking truest thing she said all bloody time. She's like, please, I love him.
He kind of he gets angry at that because of what you represent, and then you hear sort of a howl or a wretched sound from behind him. It's a sound of just, again, it's a wolf. It's a sort of howl, but you recognize it because of your animal speak. It's the sound of just kill, get done, stop playing. He immediately just turns and growls heavily back in a way of just silence. You know, he's definitely the alpha, definitely the top dog in the area. And looks back to you, and again, just sort of blood drunk, full, and sort of plays just sort of gently with its massive claw, just sort of grazes your cheek as if just to cut it very slightly, and it does draw blood, and it is quite painful. But again, you're quite terrified that if you move, it will hack you down, and blood is drawn. But then he goes and leans in very close to you and just sort of goes, quick or slow, tell me of the island. And you may have quick. Tell me of its secret.
I don't know any of their secrets.
It just roars into your face and screams and howls, so rah, rah. And again, that foul, putrid,
and underground, Jesus Christ, she's
the
trembling.
spit, it just, your whole face is covered in like this saliva and this sort of foul, and even a bit of dead flesh from perhaps one of the bodyguards, just sort of lands on your face as spittle and blood as it screams at you. Tell me what you know.
Oh God, can I have a resolve composure roll, please?
Okay.
Can I please have a composure resolve roll right now?
You can make this. All right, it's obvious.
No, it's fine, but I need it rolled. If I fail, something really is going to happen.
Okay, so what is your resolve plus composure? There will be a penalty because it is resolve, we'll say.
It's 5 dice, so yeah, and
5 dice. Oh, it's going to be minus. I'm going to minus a bit.
No willpower, none of that. I just need it rolled.
Okay, it's going to be minus. We'll say 3
fine.
because of the intimidation, because of the sheer horror of what's going on. So it's only 2 dice. Oh, solid, solid 10. Solid 10.
Sounds good.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. He is very intimidating, but
really. Okay. All right. What he that Grace actually just squares her shoulders, actually closes her eyes and just takes a deep inhale and a deep exhale, squares up and just says, I've been on that island for a month and a half, and I'm nowhere near even knowing half the people there, let alone the first names. I know nothing about that island. Neither does he. So you may as well just get us out of the way.
Is this a lie? Because you do know some fair amount. So I think it's a bit of a lie because you do know a few things. You've seen a few things.
In the grand scheme of no.
No,
Yep.
no. But you do know
So
you do know
feel
one or
free
two.
to let's call that a
So
two things. So let's call it a manipulation and subterfuge, eh?
okay, manipulation, subterfuge. We'll simply say it's against it.
Or what do you want to call it?
Because it would have penalties anyway. No, manipulation, subterfuge. That's what you're doing. You're lying. So, yeah. What is your manipulation, subterfuge, please?
Fabulous 4 dice.
4 dice.
Yep.
Again,
Do you want to add? Look.
I'll make it
Yeah,
contested.
4 dice.
I'll make it contested.
I don't suppose it's a social role, so I can.
Oh no, yes, that would plus to this.
Can I remember to add my social bonus, or
yes.
does it not count?
No, it counts. It's about you. You seem honest. You come across well. You come across as a person that speaks their mind, the truth. And that applies to this. That applies. So it's plus 2 dice. So it's 6 dice for you. And I'll roll his dice in a moment. Oh my word! You are on. If this isn't exceptional, I will do something. Oh no! Just a normal. Just 3 to 7. Could have been exceptional, which would have done something, but oh well. And I'll just roll his. It's going to be again. It's just his wits. Again, in the state, quite difficult. It's 4 dice for him. No, he is rather fooled by that. So he actually believes you. So he, as you say this, like you've only been on the island for months, you don't know anything. He doesn't know anything. He just travels. He looks to you and again sniffs you deeply. And he just sort of, and he kind of sniffs the blood on his claw. That just comes from your cheek, and he kind of as if turns to look at the pack, and you hear the pack kind of murmuring, whispering, making noises. A lot of them are just saying "kill, kill." But then he looks to you and goes, and he sort of huffs in your face, a big puff, turns slightly, and just goes, "You may be offered a chance to escape, but he stays. He trespasses. His foul blood will not taint this land ever again."
Manipulation, empathy roll on Wolfie Boy, even though I know for a fact that there's no deliberating it. Is there a chance that this dude has half a heart that I could manipulate?
Ooh, he's.
So that would be a
Yeah, that's What did we do the roll earlier? That was about empathy. I think you failed that one to get. No, we'll see because you failed the roll earlier, which was to gauge his motives and his intentions. So you can't tell. You don't know. You're not sure. And he's not even letting you go. He just simply says you can have the chance to escape. It's sort of intended that you can run now if you want. So it's not a very nice kind of I'll let you go type thing. It's like, yeah, we'll give you a chance, but that's it.
No.
And
no.
Oh, okay.
Yep. No. And Grace gets that. She gets that this is a very delicate situation, and this, what chances she got really? Unless they're having a who looks better in Prada competition, she's probably going to lose. So I think that she'll actually stand steadfast against all better judgment and against all reason, and yeah, just simply say, no. I said to you before, loyalty is never a wasted thing. You kill him, you kill me.
Such loyalty. You can see the cogs in his mind are working behind the eyes. He's definitely thinking, and then he just sort of looks to your region, looks to your master. Well, I see such loyalty is worth. And he kind of again stands upright, and it does kind of look apish, wolf-like, apish, as if an ape's walking on its two legs. And it bears its chest quite heavily, and walks up to the branch.
Mm-hmm.
And his claws dig into the flesh of your region. But he doesn't do it in a way to kill him, but he just does it as if to lift him up.
If he's going anywhere near him.
Okay.
If he goes anywhere near him, Grace is actually going to attack him. I can still better judgment. It's going to be a feeble little,
I just roll. What's your
just sort of
He's not. You know
Yeah.
what? He's not even going to bother to kind of deflect it. So, what is your strength plus Paul? What's the maximum amount of damage?
No, it's no point.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. You jump in.
I
You
have strength of 2 and brawl of nothing.
Oh no, you kind of hit him with your handbag. I don't. You simply you're battering at him, but it does nothing. And any scratch marks you even do to his flesh, it just heals instantly.
No.
So he gets the region and your master region, and he lifts him off the branch effortlessly, and he kind of flies in front of you. He falls onto the ground in front of you. And this creature, again, really tall, standing above you, just sort of looks to you and goes, "Go, test your loyalty to him. See what it is worth, wretched things." And your region does start to move as he is unstaked. He's a bit foggy, a bit out of it.
Hashtag all problems. She will rush to his side, of course.
And as you rush to his side,
sit him up.
And you get him up, he's really injured in his mind. You've seen this before when he wakes from torpor. He's been greatly injured. His mind is foggy. It's a bit distorted. And there's a few moments. You have a few moments before he sort of comes to properly. And it seems like this creature's just watching you. It's just merely watching you. So you finally actually touch your region, and you feel his embrace. His cold flesh feels so wonderful.
And cue the violin music. I imagine that seeing his body, he's exceptionally wounded and ragged, and I would have seen him like this probably before he needs a lot of blood. I dare say he's way down.
Yeah,
he's not looking too happy.
He's not looking good. He's way down. He's a lot of injuries. Not good.
Okay.
On a funny side note, you'd know he'd be more worried.
Music.
No, funny side note, you'd know he'd be more angry at the fact his suit is so heavily damaged rather than the flesh.
Grace is Grace. She'll brush to his side. Finally, again, she has the cold hands of his in her hands, and they're animated, they're beginning to move again, even if they're sort of spasming initially as the undead vitae is beginning to become unparalyzed. And she can only imagine that it's like the feeling of pins and needles, like when your arm is asleep and then waking from torpor, from that stiffness of the grave, and your joints become mobile again. Again, she sees this, and so many times she's been there when he's awoken from his daily sleep and seen this, but now it's more violent, it's more primitive, more primal even in a way, but that doesn't change who she is and who she needs to be for him. And realistically, between the choice of being torn apart by this feral creature and dying right here to sustain her master, she knows which is the better option. So she'll actually sit him up and just hold his head against her bosom in a way, and then just before he truly wakes up and probably needs to feed straight away, just whisper into his ear, whatever you do, I forgive you. Remember that. And then just sees what happens. But she is that special little unicorn and love, and she desperately wants him to get out of there.
And as you just embrace him, and again, you've never realized how lonely you have been, how isolated you've been until you've been in contact with your master, the touch of your master. You finally feel whole. You feel more alive now than you've been in the past months on the island. And a sense of peace comes over you as you embrace what's going to happen, what's happened. You know instinctively. There's just something telling you what to do. And of course, as you look into the eyes of your master, his eyes do open, and they are bloodshot. They are red. They are of the beast. Nothing more. Even though this is the darker side of your master, you know he's in there. You know he knows what you're doing, what's happening. But this thing in front of you, this pathetic version of your master, just any last minute stuff you want to do before I do stuff?
Yes, yeah. I have a thought.
Okay, I'm about to do something.
Beast Whisperer merit.
You do.
I do. I could potentially, with any fucking luck, pull him out of frenzy before it happens and prove to his cunts that we're not all beasts.
That is very interesting. Okay, so the beast hunter merit, you can talk a kindred down from frenzy. So this is a basic roll with some penalties. So he is stupidly hungry. So it's like minus. Yeah. Oh god, it's difficult. It's -4, I think, because he's literally got no. He's really hungry. It's definitely minus.
In which case,
-4.
In which case, I'm going to amend Grace's last words at this point, and using the Beast Whisperer merit, which I only just remembered, pretty much say to him, prove to them that you're not just a beast, but whatever happens, I forgive you.
Okay,
we'll go with that.
No. I think the speech on itself it's good enough. So this is a dice roll, and we'll see what happens. So this is definitely present and persuasion. You do plus your social roll, your extra bonuses. So it's an extra 2 dice, and -4 because he's very hungry. So wow, yes. So how many dice is that in total? So
Presence, persuasion plus
2
is 8. So I'd still have 4 dice left after that.
Oh wow. Okay, yeah, 8. That says 4 dice. That's a lot. So let's see what happens. Let's roll and see. Oh, so oh no, you did it. You know what? I might even say it's an exception. It's just oh wow. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to say no. It's a full-on romantic.
Oh my god!
Exceptional thing there because you
talk. Background? Is it moonbeams?
It's the moon. For some reason, actually, yes. For some reason, the moon just shines through the woodland, and a light kind of dims and goes down on both of you, and as if the light helps, as if the light washes away what he is, and you see those bloodshot red eyes. You see them just about to pounce on you, about to rip you, tear you apart as if you was nothing to him. But then as he just reaches for your neck, as the teeth are about to plunge in, he stops. He holds himself back, and the grip he has on you is so tight, it even bruises you, causes damage, but he kind of loosens, and as if he forces his own, he places a hand on his chest, on his throat, on his face, and sort of pushes his face away. And after a moment, he kind of stops and just, as if to try to breathe, just to try to come back. He's him. He's normal. He's sort of, you've never seen him so human before, as if he's really, this has knocked him out. He's got such a strength of will to stop himself. As he kind of, he sort of pants as if to try to breathe, but realizes that, oh, I can't breathe. What am I doing? And as this happened, he looks to you and just goes, oh, Grace, is that you?
Yeah. Of course it's me. You called for me. How can I not be here? And she'll shake his hands. This is like proper Beauty and the Beast moment right here. But
he kind of holds. He's so weak.
yeah, she'll just sort of go into his arms, like my darling child.
He's so weak, and he sort of, even as if it's taken every ounce of strength he has to stop himself, and he then just sort of embraces you and just sort of just places his head on your chest, on your shoulder, near your cheek or your face, as if, and just sort of whispers, "Oh, thank you." And as this happens, you realize the situation around you, the romantic kind of moment ends, that sense of isolation that the world doesn't exist, it's just you two stops. As you just hear these howls, these sounds of just sort of, kill them, feed. But the figure, the main wolf figure who's standing tall above you, looks confused. It looks shocked. It stands back. It goes on all fours to go closer to you and just sort of goes. Loyalty. And it seems angry. It says this as if to respects, and it kind of accepts it, but then hears the cries of its pack around it saying, kill them, this is enough, stop fooling around, hunt, kill. And he screams at them and just places himself down in between you and pushes you aside and picks him up easily with one hand, and even puts a foot down on you and holds you down onto the ground as he lifts your regent up. And he's kind of struggling. He's too weak to do anything. His hands are literally trying to pull these massive claws off his chest, off his throat, and he just seems quite angry, frustrated. But there's a focused sort of intensity to this creature. And he goes, let's test your loyalty. And he plunges his hand into the region, into your master, into your beloved, easily, and rips out his blackened, dripping heart. His body, your master, your beloved's body, just goes rigid, lifeless. The body just starts to fade. It starts to decay. It starts to just drift into dust that blows in the wind. A skeletal sort of form just collapses through the creature's hand and goes onto the ground, as you see a pile of bones and the skull with the fangs and the teeth. But in the creature's hand is his heart. It no longer beats. It's, you've never seen a heart. It's black. There is no sort of human quality to it. It's thick, leather. And the creature just looks to it and just throws it at you. Loyalty. For how long? Go. And it takes some strides as if to walk away. The creatures, there is a sort of absolute hush of the pack, as if justice has been dealt. A form of justice has been dealt, as this creature sort of gives a signal, a sign, a cowl to move on, to return home. And the creatures instantly just disappear stealthily, shadowily through the woods, through the isolation. They go off to the realms where they come from. And this lone creature who's standing up goes towards the edge of the woodline and sort of goes on all fours and looks to you and just goes, and it says the same words again: loyalty, blood drunk fool. And it proceeds to just go off into the woods. But you are left with this heart in front of you. But you know he's not dead. He's still here. You feel his presence. He is still here. You feel that the look, the sympathy, and it is coming from the heart. It's coming from that blackened heart.
While the entire ordeal was going on, Grace was pinned and Felix was getting torn to shreds, till that moment where she saw the ribcage collapse around him, spinal cord disintegrate into so much ash, hands and feet and face and hair, all of it just disintegrating to nothingness. Oh, she just didn't have the energy to scream, to cry, to do anything. She just, eyes leaking tears because that's all that she could do. However, sitting here now, she sits upright, takes that blackened heart in her hands, cradles it in where she is in a kneeling position, her cheeks scratched, probably more cuts on her bruises, looking so much like the defiled Virgin. Still, she looks at this heart, this blackened heart in her hands, and again breathes so heavily, composes herself. To lose composure now would be the end, but she stands. And as the last of the creatures, the Alpha proceeds into the shadows. She can't help but acknowledge and not so much give a nod or give any kind of signal or a gesture, but just to simply acknowledge that tonight he's letting her live. Maybe he doesn't know what he's done, but maybe he does. Even if he does, his pack doesn't need to know. That's something that she doesn't need to say. Right now, she's getting out of here. She's walking out of here. She does not run because he does not run. And he is not dead yet. Not forever. Not that forever sleep. That final death. She knows it. She feels it. She walks out of that wood. Perhaps with a little less arrogance than what is her normal wont. Perhaps with a little bit more humility. With a little bit more of a thank you in her heart. For otherwise eaten her whole. Eaten him whole. Spat their bones out. Left her radiant for the sun. Just simply to see him squirm. Oh, that's not what came about. Instead, dare she say that what she's been trained for, what he made her, came true. And even if they had both died, he would have died a man. What other kindred could boast such a thing? Tonight, for all of its horrors, but magical. Absolutely magical. And she walks back to the car, gets into the car, still cradling that black heart. She knows she can't go back to Mersey like this. So she drives, she finds the safest, drives till she finds somewhere where she can again blend in. To wait. She has a far, far greater jewel in her possession that needs tending. I'm sorry, Rebecca, she thinks in the back of her head. Sorry, little ghost girl. And even sorry to you, old salt speaker. I'm with you. My grace is not for you. You didn't make me. And whilst you may have tainted me, you could not keep me. And those thoughts, if the ST allows, will trail red headlights into the distance.
You are free. You are bound and free, as it were, to this heart, as you drive off into the night, into the mainland of England, proceeding toward your destiny, your responsibility now. How long is your devotion? Will it last? How long will your loyalty last, it seems? As you drive off with this heart, this precious and vulnerable thing in your possession, and you proceed off into the mist, into the dark, into the world. And with that, we will happily end scene. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it.